Ui. Hey, I'm Beardman and welcome to my channel. In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to animate a car on iPad. Okay, for this you would require one software which is called Procreate Dreams. And what is Procreate Dreams though? Procreate Dreams is a 2D animation software on which you can do hand-drawn animations from anywhere in the world. All you need is your iPad with your Apple Pencil and that software in it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to animate on that. This is Procreate Dreams. Let's open it up and let's see what we can do about it. So over here, if I tap on this and I open up a new document, and on that, on a new track, let's start drawing. But before that, let me tell you that what kind of prerequisites you would require to animate a car. I'm not going to show you a basic animation where a car is going from point A to point B within your frame, because that's very easy. I'm going to show you how to animate a car in 3D space within the software. For this, you would be requiring a little bit of precision in terms of perspective drawings first of all, and it's not very difficult. Okay, initially you might be feeling that it might be difficult, but just follow me along and you'll see that it's going to get great. The more you draw, the better you'll get at it. Okay, so we will be animating cars like this. So these are all hand-drawn cars. The car is moving in the 3D space, and each of these individual cars are hand drawn with all the details, okay, and without any references. So what I'm going to do is, for this we'll have to create our own references. I myself have been drawing cars for years, so I'm very confident at drawing or designing my own car. But a little bit of a tip for you, that when you are initially animating a car for the first time, what you should be doing is keep the car very basic, right? And you might have seen a couple of my viral reels where I've shown you how to draw a car very simply, where you stack one box on top of the other and then put the wheels on it, and that's as simple as that. We are going to stick to that concept, because all we have to learn over here is how to move a car in a 3D space, and the challenge is to maintain the accuracy of the car. Okay, for that what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a couple of cars for my references. Okay, first the side profile, just like this. Once that is done, I would be drawing the front fascia of the car as well as the back side of the car. And if I have a little bit more time and if I need to be very accurate, what I do is I would draw the car at an angle like the 3/4 angle of the car, even from the front and even from the back as well. Okay, so I have got about 5 of these cars, which I think I can be able to manage drawing more of these cars in the 3D space moving through the road. For that we would require a road, so let's quickly draw a curve or a path on which a car can move. Okay, so I'm drawing a path just like this, and we can draw our backgrounds on top of it if you want. I have a background ready on Procreate, and if you want to learn how to paint backgrounds, I will be bringing in a lot of videos on that as well. But I have live workshops happening on these topics, so if you would like to learn how to animate a car in a 3D space in depth and within a matter of 6 or 7 hours, then you might join my workshop, and the link for that is over here. And now first of all, we have the path over here. So on the first thing we need to do is on a separate track. Okay, tracks, if you are familiar with Procreate, tracks are nothing but layers. So on a separate track, I have done what? I have done a path just like this. Okay, on this path the car is going to move. Okay, so first we'll figure out how the thing moves in 2D plane within that road, and then we'll be moving forward to add the car on top of it. Okay, so this is the path. On this, let's draw a 2D plane just like this. Okay, you might be seeing that it's getting fixed on the road, and the angles might be crooked in your attempt, but you need to see that how the plane fits on the road. This is the most important part. You need to be visually looking at it. Okay, I can let me see if I can show it to you by the visuals. So this is how I draw the plane, and at the same time I'm making sure that the perspective is also right. So on each and every drawings of the plane, you can see that the perspective points are going somewhere, they are vanishing at some point, and none of the planes will be on the same perspective. As soon as the car is moving or this page is moving, the perspective is also changing. But these are very technical terms. As you are seeing me doing it, you see that it's very natural. The terms, the like perspective, values, and all these things in drawings, they generally makes you a little bit scared, because you don't know what it actually means. But when you're drawing things and when you aim for accuracy, these things come to you naturally. And needless to say that I'm drawing them one by one. So these blue color things are called the onion skins. This can help you a lot knowing where is your sketch going, because this is the previous drawing and the yellow one is the next drawing, as you can see over here, right? So these things also help you in terms of knowing where to put your stuff as to animate. So now if you play this, this thing is floating like this. Okay, now what we can do is we can build on top of this, just like putting up the box, the base box, right? I've always said that make it simple and basic for some better understanding. We are going to make it as simple as possible, stacking one box or the other. As you have seen, I haven't worked on the details on the car at all, because all we have to do is we need to learn how to move the thing in the 3D space, and then we can do a few more iterations of this until we are comfortable with the details. I myself have drawn about 20 to 30 of these cars, but it takes up a lot of time to do the details, right? So now that the bases are there, on top of that you can now leave out a little bit of space, because the wheels are going to be there. This can act as a shadow of the car, right? So on top of that, what I'm doing is I'm floating the box, the base box, on top of it, just like this, again in perspective, and this time with the boxes underneath you can find out the perspective points, and you can keep on drawing the box on top of it. This is also a nice drawing practice, where I'm drawing the boxes one by one on each and every frame, and while I'm doing this I'm getting to know perspective a little better and all these things. So this is quite a good exercise as well to learn how to draw. So I always tell my students that if you are animating a lot, then you are basically finding your own style, because you are doing the same thing repeatedly and all the time. All this while you're doing it, you are finding ways to make it more quicker, make it more efficient, and while you're doing that, this is the practice which lets you find your own style. Once the bases are done, by the way, just like this, then on top of that you can stack up another box, the top part of the cabin of the car, right? So that is why the onion skin can come in very handy. And now if you would play this, you would see that the car is floating on the road. Now what we need the most important bit that connects the road to the car are the wheels, right? Coincidentally, wheels are to draw. I mean, people struggle a lot while drawing the wheels, because in a perspective space or in a 3D space, drawing a circular thing or cylindrical thing can be a little bit difficult, but that shouldn't be the case. As you can see, a wheel is basically a circle if you are looking at from directly, right? So if you are looking at the wheel directly, it's a circle which is inside a square, just like this. Okay, now if you move the square, you will see the circle is becoming an oval, and then if you extend the square into a cube or maybe a cuboid, you will see that the circle becomes also a cylinder, right? So this is the same concept we are using on our cars. After a couple of frames, because I have been drawing this for a while, I can directly draw the circles, because I have a mental note of how the boxes might look like. Okay, so once that is done, now the car is actually coming out alive. The shadows can be tweaked a little bit more. What I can do is, with the same inks, I can fill the shadows up with a darker tone, and I can add some shadows, extending shadows depending on from where the light is coming. In my case, the light is coming from this side, so the shadows are going to be on the opposite side, and while coloring it, we'll have to make sure that we are also considering that. Okay, so now the wheels are done. Now what we have to do is the finishing part, right? Now we have to render it, and rendering is something which is a very computerish term which I don't like to use on my iPad, because whatever you are painting or doing, it's generally happening in front of you. Okay, now all we need to do is to put the base color on our car, and this is among one of the boring parts of this entire animation process. So what I do is I generally open up the TV show that I'm watching at that time, or some podcast, or if I'm outside with my friends and they have been chatting about some gossip that I know already or I have created, I don't have to participate in that. So instead of that, what I do is I paint the dark glasses on the car with the wheels, of course, and then I'll be doing it for all these vehicles. And at this point of time, let me tell you that the headlight and the number plate is too much for me for this tutorial, and for that you'll have to watch the next one. But until then, there is something very essential that is missing, and that is sound. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.